What's going on YouTube? It's Dwayne, back again for another video, back again for another reaction, and today's a great day. Do you know why? You already know why. Because we're learning about Sweden. My honest opinion of Systembolaget. What I really think. So, I'm really interested in this video because it's a Brit abroad. It's a British person's point of view, and he's going to compare it to how we have our system in the UK of basically being able to buy alcohol wherever you turn. If you want to go to a petrol station, if you want to go to a supermarket, if you want to go down the road to the shop on the end of your street, you will find alcohol. So it's going to be interesting to see how he interprets the Systembolaget and if he thinks it's a good system. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this reaction. Let's go.
Weigh in with my honest opinions for you right here.
Oh, start from the beginning.
Back to another video. Today I'm talking about something that I've touched upon a number of times in my different videos, but I'm yet to dedicate a whole video to it, and you guys have been asking me for my honest opinions, so today we're talking about Systembolaget. Yeah, the chances are, even if you don't know a lot about Sweden, you've probably stumbled across the fact that here there's a shop called Systembolaget, and that's where you have to buy all of your alcohol if you want it. And depending on what you read online,
that meme was just pouring all that into the blender.
There are mixed reviews as to whether that's a good or a bad thing, so today I'm going to weigh in with my honest opinions for you right here.
I want to know his opinion. Let's see what he says. I think it's a good idea, but let's see.
Before I really dig into what I think about Systemet, I think it's only fair that we give a bit of a background to how we got here. So here in Sweden, you can only buy drinks with an alcohol content up to the volume of 3.5% in your regular supermarkets, your ICAs and your Hemköps. And the reason for that is because Sweden has quite a history when it comes to alcohol. Yes, don't quote me exactly, but back in the 1800s, there was a big thing in Sweden where lots of people drank lots of alcohol. It was one of those things that was seen as a big marker of the society. But over a period of a number of years, the situation deteriorated and people were drinking more and more, and the church, which of course was even more important back then, and the local authorities decided they needed to do something about it. And they tried a number of different things before they landed on the eventual solution, and this included things like rationing alcohol with tokens, which you can imagine.
Wow, okay, so you guys had rations before Systembolaget. You had tokens to get booze. Wow. So this is a long line. This is like a long history of the Swedish government and the Swedish, probably maybe royal family. I don't know how far back we're going, but a long, history of alcohol being controlled because of a bad time in Sweden's history. That's really interesting.
Didn't go down very well. So in 1955, this state took over the chain which we now know as the one and only Systembolaget. So these days, if you want to buy alcohol in Sweden, you can only buy it in Systembolaget shops if it's over 3.5% of alcohol contents, and you can only buy it during their opening hours, of course. Yet most of us are used to situations where if you just want a drink, you can pop down to the shop and buy it, but that's just not the case here in Sweden. If you want your alcohol, you need to plan ahead, and Systemet is only open until 7 o'clock on the weekdays, only until about 3 o'clock on Saturdays, and then it's shut on Sundays, so you really need to know in advance when you're going to want to drink.
Like I said before, that's not bad. I mean, you got a whole day to purchase alcohol, and also you can purchase it in bulk, so it's not. I don't think it's a problem. And the 3.5%, that would be like bottles of beer, right? You could get like a bottle of beer that has 3.5%. That's not bad either. If you're a beer drinker. Maybe not if it's like another type of alcohol. Obviously, there's not going to be any spirits that are like 3.5%. But yeah, I think it's really good that your government and your society has a kind of hold on alcohol and alcohol consumption, because it can get out of hand. And in the UK, it's very much a free for all. Like, people can just purchase alcohol whenever they want at whatever time, in multiple different shopping settings, and I think it needs to be regulated a little bit more. That's my opinion, though.
Guys, is this really a good or a bad thing? I'm going to weigh in on that one right now. One thing I really like about Systembolaget is the choice they have is second to none. What I mean by that is because it's state owned and because they have the monopoly on alcohol, they have to bring in a really wide selection of different wines, beers, ales, you name it. And they have a presence in all of the big cities and towns in Sweden, some out in the country as well. But even if you don't have one of the Systemet shops nearby to you, you can actually order it to be delivered to your house or to one of the local pickup points.
Really good.
So again, that's pretty convenient. If you want to get your fix of alcohol, order it in advance online, it can have it delivered right down the road to you. It couldn't be easier. I have heard the delivery fees to do so can be quite pricey depending on where you live, so that is something to keep in mind, but it's good to have the option at least. The second big benefit I see when it comes to Systemet is the selection is not the same in any two stores. And what I mean by that is wherever you go, whichever Systemet you go to visit, the selection you have on offer will be slightly different. And the reason for that is, of course, when you have the monopoly on all of the alcohol in the country, you have to be seen as being fair and competitive. So they try and bring in produce from their local distilleries. So for example, if I go to a shop here in Östergötland, there'll be a lot more local brews than there would be, for example, if I went to Skåne, where they will have their local brews instead. So it's great.
That's good. That's good. They're supporting local business.
Great to see a national chain really supporting their own, making sure that the locally made products really get the opportunity to shine.
That's
and
really
I know
good.
that lots of people really like this benefit because, for example, if I go to Gothenburg for the weekend, I could actually pop into a Systemet while I'm there and pick up some local brews, some local beers that I actually can't really get hold of here in Östergötland, and that's quite fun in itself. If we're being fair and on balance here, something I do have to say is I've heard that some of the quotas to be accepted as a provider at Systemet are quite high, so you need to be able to produce pretty high volumes to be considered. So that could be a barrier to entry for some people. But having said that, you have to understand it's a business, they have to make money, they have to make sure, there's volumes for the people if they want them, so I kind of understand. And the same applies when it comes to international goods. If there's a particular wine that you really want that they only make in France, ring up your local Systemet, go online, and they can probably order it in for you. And I've got...
That's insane. That is insane. That's elite, because I don't know of a place you can purchase wine or booze where they order in whatever you want from whatever country. I mean, there might be. I'm not really a big drinker. So there may be somewhere like that in the UK, but the fact that you have that in every single Systembolaget, and you have that in every single one, that's pretty cool.
I've got to say, it's not just the selection that's good, the staff are also pretty impressive. That's a third big benefit as I see it when it comes to Systemet. If you go to any of the stores, the staff have been trained and educated in the ways of the alcohol world, so they really know what they're talking about. And that's not the same experience if you just go to, for example, Tesco's in the UK. You just go into a supermarket, so the workers you meet there have a lot of knowledge about general stuff, but not the specifics, so they can't really...
They know nothing about alcohol. If you go into any shop in the UK to purchase alcohol and you ask them for a specific brand or specific type of alcohol, they'll look at you with a blank stare like, Or they'll try and find it for you, but they don't know much.
Offer you tailored advice that's based on anything other than their own opinions. Whereas when you go to Systemet, you can really get a professional, expert opinion on what wine would go well with a certain meal,
really
or what
good.
you should try if you like a certain taste. So when you go to Systemet, you're not just paying for a good drink, but you're paying for really good, solid, sound advice because they really know their stuff. In my own personal opinion, what they have spent splashing the cash when it comes to making sure that their staff are well trained, they've made up for when it comes to the design and decor of the stores. Yes, I have to admit that I don't think the Systemet stores are laid out in the best way. I don't mean in the categorization terms.
Okay.
They've categorized well between the different drinks, but I don't think it looks very nice.
So we went round, I don't know if you haven't seen my last video or my video on Systembolaget, I did a walking tour of looking around the store. I thought it looked quite nice aesthetically. I liked it. I couldn't read much of what was on the labels, but that's because he was moving too fast and he was too far away. But I didn't think it looked bad, but he lives in Sweden, so...
In the categorization terms, they've categorized well between the different drinks, but I don't think it looks very nice. I think it feels quite clinical, and that's something to do with the fact that everything's very white and shiny. It just feels like I'm in a hospital. A bit ironic, really, when I'm there to buy my beer. On balance, I've got to say that I don't really have a problem with Systemet. I've kind of got used to it, and I've got to say I really think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages when it comes to choosing Systemet to buy my alcohol from. Not that I've got a lot of choice, of course. So does it cause me a problem that the state has a monopoly on alcohol? Not necessarily. I can see the reasons for it. I understand the history. It kind of makes sense. I know that this is a topic that gets a lot of people talking, so make sure that you weigh in on the debate in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about Systembolaget. Is it a good place to shop? Do you wish you had more choice? Let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're down,
exactly what he said. And make sure you subscribe to Just a Brit Abroad. Just a Brit Abroad. Tongue twister. Yeah, exactly what he said. Let me know in the comment section below what you think to Systembolaget. Because I think it's a really good thing. I personally think it's a really good thing. I haven't been to Sweden and I haven't been to one, but I don't see the cons to having everything in one place and having such a wide selection of alcohol and being able to order whatever alcohol beverage you want from whatever country and have a wine or alcohol specialist at hand to tell you what alcohol or what wine or whatever goes well with a certain dish. That is elite. That's amazing. We don't have that. That's a privilege. Sounds good to me. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, I will see you guys later.